So with that, we'll take it away, Doug.
Okay, well, thank you, Scotty, and I guess it goes without saying, it's always great to be in Bozeman, and so thanks for all of you showing up. And so, yeah, I'm going to kind of do the Reader's Digest version of what I was originally planning to do, plus I was kind of in the same position that Eric was in at 10 o'clock last night. I was loading Jimmy's stuff onto my computer. So anyway, so we're going to talk, I want to talk a little bit about a surprise, definitely a surprise avalanche at Snowbird, one at Jackson, and kind of the way, at least the Forest Service, at least the National Avalanche Center, part of the Forest Service, looks at things. So, you know, there's one sure way, I mean, we all know this, you know, there's only one sure way to stay out of an avalanche, and that's to avoid avalanche terrain. And after that, it's risk management, and that's, you know, what we're all about, and that's what ski patrols are hired to do, and that's your job, is to reduce the risk, or minimize the risk as much as you possibly can. So, but that comes with a huge caveat, and that is, you can reduce the risk to almost zero, but we can never eliminate it, no matter, at least with the tools we've got today. There's just no way to totally eliminate the risk, but, you know, we come pretty damn close. So, you know, snow safety mornings can be pretty hectic, and I want to thank, hopefully this is going to load, is this going to work? See, things sometimes go as they're planned, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't.
That's a Forest Service computer. You just go back to the previous slide. Go forward. That's what you do for a while.
Yeah, go forward and back. That's what we're doing. That was worth it.
That didn't work fine just a minute ago.
Just seconds ago. That work, it's not. Okay, here we go. Anyway, I want to thank Carl and Chabot for illustrating what a typical morning out there is like. We're meeting all kinds of challenges, making stuff work. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's Chabot's. That window lives there. But anyway, I think the point is, you know, any morning we go out on a snow safety morning, it's just, you know, you have a plan, but, you know, you have to react, and that's what makes a good ski patrol, obviously, is reacting in that right way. But every once in a while, things do go awry. And that's what happened in December of 2008. And I don't think any of us will ever remember that or forget that. You know, it started off with these warm, wet storms that fell at high elevation in early November. We had mostly high pressure from mid-November through mid-December. And then mid-December, snowpacks, and it wasn't this isolated area. The snowpacks from Mammoth all the way, you know, up into the northwest, right up into the Canadian border, with this bad brew of rain crusts, wind slabs, and facets. So not a good situation. And then snow began falling the western ski areas in mid-December, as I'm sure you all remember. And this is actually a timeline of some of the incidents in 08, 09. And the first major incident was at Snowbird, and it was on 14th, December 14th. The skier was caught, buried, and killed. On the 25th, skier caught, buried, and killed in Squaw. 27th, 2 skiers caught, 1 buried, 1 killed at Jackson. And then throughout the month of December, I mean, there were, you know, too many incidents to even, you know, try to describe in almost every major ski area in the West. And then in March, things settled down in January and February, but then in March, 3rd March, 09, Andrew Inton was killed at Squaw. He was a long-time patroller there. So after these events, especially the ones in December of 08, you can imagine it was this media feeding frenzy. I mean, it was like, okay, well, people are spending, you know, $50 to $100 a day to go to skiing, and they're getting killed in avalanches. You know, what's the deal? And so media was looking for a smoking gun, and most of the calls that went to the Forest Service ended up, either Carl or I ended up fielding them, or at least a whole lot of them. And the NSAA fielded a lot of them. And we came up with this sort of mantra that snow is a very complicated medium. Ski areas, snow safety crews, using latest mitigation techniques, including explosives, can reduce the avalanche risk to almost zero, but can't eliminate it. So when we explained that to the news media, they were amazingly, I thought anyway, sympathetic, and I think we actually got good coverage about the events, but I think it was because we, tried to explain the complexities of going out there and reducing the avalanche risk. So, just to give just some perspective, 11 members of the public have died in avalanches in open areas since '78. Since '78, we have averaged ski areas, ski industries average 30 to 60 million people a year. Past few years, it's been around 57. And the NSAA estimates that about 15% of those recent visits, or 8.5 million, include skiing steep, open, inbounds, avalanche terrain. So if you use those stats, the odds are pretty darn minuscule. It's like 1 in 2.8 million. So I think that was another thing that the media, that really interested the media was, yeah, it's, this is huge news when somebody gets killed, obviously. We don't want this to happen, but it's a very rare event. So what I'd like to do is go through the Snowbird accident, which that was, like I said, the first major event in 2008. And I'm sure all of you have been to Snowbird, but that's the top of the tram, that's the top of Mount Baldy, Alta's down in there. There's a traverse that goes from the top of the tram called West Baldy Traverse over into this area, which is called West Baldy. It isn't quite that straight, but anyway, the young woman that was caught in the avalanche was caught approximately right there, and about 300 people had been across the traverse prior to her, prior to the avalanche being triggered. She, according to witnesses, she had lost a ski and was actually hiking back uphill when the slide started, and then she was carried, a long ways, basically through facets, rocks, down to there. So this is a photo of Snowbird. Again, you can see Mount Baldy. That's the top of Hidden Peak, and this is West Baldy. Okay, that's kind of hard to see, but that is looking downhill on the avalanche was triggered. There were so many people out on West Baldy that day that, there were literally hundreds of people responded to this accident, which was both good and bad. And you see, this was taken a little bit later. There's a helicopter there. That's a little Cottonwood Canyon Road. This is looking the opposite direction, looking uphill. The avalanche came down that direction. You see the probe lines. This was taken fairly early on at the first response, and I think it took 11 minutes for the Snowbird Ski Patrol to get from the top of Hidden Peak to the site, and that was with haste packs and with the dogs. And one of the things that Jimmy wanted me to be sure and emphasize, and that is, there were about 150 skiers were on the site, that they had scattered equipment, all over the place, and so it contaminated the site. And one of the reasons Jimmy doesn't think that would have happened 10 or 15 years ago, and I tend to think he's right, because when I was a snow ranger up there, both at Alta and at Snowbird, we'd have these public days where we